Malaysia is a great travel destination with lots of beautiful sceneries and amazing local food. And if you're a tourist coming to Malaysia, in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 scams and safety tips that you need to know so that you can have a better and safer travel experience. Hey, welcome to AJ's Malaysia Travel Guide, and if you're new to this channel is dedicated to making videos to help you travel Malaysia better. Alright, so let's jump into our scams and safety that you need to know, and you should definitely stay tuned for the last tip because that's a little bit unusual. Malaysia is generally a safe place to travel. Now, I myself as a local who has been here for my whole life, for about 30 something years, I would say that back then in Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital of Malaysia, is not as safe as it used to be. There's a lot of gangsters, a lot of vandalism, graffiti, but that was about maybe 20 years ago. And ever since then, Kuala Lumpur has cleaned up really nice to a point that you may not even see trash in the streets of Kuala Lumpur, except for maybe some odd places. But other than that, in Malaysia, you'll find that it's really clean, it's really comfortable, and most importantly, it's quite safe in the daylight. Now, the first scam or safety tip that I want to share with you is snatch thief. See, in Malaysia, we don't like to flaunt our wealth. We try not to, because as soon as you wear those expensive jewelry or carry those expensive handbags, you're instantly going to be a target of snatch thieves that are riding on motorbike. But here's the thing about Kuala Lumpur. In Kuala Lumpur itself, it's so congested, the traffic is high, and you have a lot of delivery food riders that I personally feel is going to help me if there's such incident occur. And in Kuala Lumpur itself, you're not going to find snatch thief happening in busy areas in main town where you are walking by the street. It's generally quite safe. However, if you're going to go somewhere a little bit outskirt from the city, then that is where you might need to beware. And one such place I want to let you know that you need to beware is in Batu Caves, which is a super popular travel destination that you might have on your list. When heading to Batu Caves, you may not arrive at the front of the gate and you can just walk in and enjoy the travel destination. In fact, you might be taking public transportation that requires you to walk a little bit to Batu Caves, or after having a blast over there, you might walk out and try to see what's around the area, maybe local food. And that is those places that you need to be careful if you hear a motorbike coming really close to your proximity. The most recent snatch thief case happened to a Singaporean tourist, and unfortunately, a lady was wearing a gold necklace. A motorbike came, snatched it off her neck, and she fell down and of course sustained some injuries. So this tip that I want to share with you is that try your best not to flaunt your wealth, because you don't want to be target for these snatch thieves to come over and try something on you. And also another tip is that maybe you might want to look around if you're in outskirts and you hear motorbikes are coming. That's generally the rule that we apply to locals here. Now, another interesting scam that I don't want you to fall victim of in Malaysia is that be careful of businesses that are set up locally that are not by locals. See, one of the things about Kuala Lumpur is that you may not exactly get the 100% local experience, because it's a city, and like every city, you have a lot of foreigners trying to make a buck, and therefore taking away the local culture away. Someday I'm going to make a video to share with you how can you experience Kuala Lumpur as a local better, instead of being exposed to foreigners who are trying to hard sell you products or being served by food made by foreigners that we don't even eat, which is mostly what tourists could possibly experience when it comes to Kuala Lumpur. So in this scam and safety tip, I want to share with you that you may want to be careful if you're going for local services like fixing phones, going to more service-oriented place. And one story I want to share with you that unfortunately happened to a British couple who are traveling. They went to a barber shop set up locally to have a haircut. And before going to the barber, the couple had researched what is the price of getting a haircut in those kind of barber shops. It's about 30 ringgit for a male haircut. But unfortunately, at the end of the haircut, that couple ended up being charged for 120 ringgit, which is a lot. It's a scam for that kind of barber. And then they ended up having to negotiate. And as soon as you go for this kind of service and having to negotiate, you know it's a scam. And that's something I want to let you know when it comes to coming to Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia is made out of 60% Malays, 20% Chinese, and I think another 16% of Indians, mostly in the peninsula. But as soon as you go to Kuala Lumpur, you may see a lot of races that just doesn't add up. So be careful if you're a patron of their business. But I gotta be fair, what we talked about is services. The next up, I'm gonna talk about food prices. There are some restaurants that unfortunately could be run by local. They're going to take advantage of you just because you are a tourist. They're gonna charge an extra price on something that just doesn't make sense. And if you don't have a local around you, they're definitely gonna hike up the price to something that locals doesn't even pay. Us local Malaysians have seen a lot of examples where we see a burger shop, for example, selling a basic street burger to a tourist that should cost around maybe 5 ringgit, jacked up all the way to 10 ringgit. And it's a very very basic burger. So in order to help you to avoid that, always ask the price beforehand. I know to some of you guys that Malaysia may seem like an inexpensive, affordable travel destination, but you do want to be careful because at the end of the day, tourism is tourism and somebody is going to try to make a buck out of you. So always ask the prices of the seafood. There are a lot of similar restaurants nearby. Check out Google Maps and always compare prices. There's no harm in being a savvy traveler by just taking another 2 minutes to compare prices on the internet. And another scam and safety tip I want to share with you, which is more on the scam side that us locals will experience as well, is parking scams. What is this parking scams? If you are driving in Kuala Lumpur and you find a spot that you want to park in, sometimes there's going to be some guy who may come in all of a sudden and give you direction on how to park, and they're really nice, and you thought, oh wow, it's so nice of this person to do me a service on trying to show me how to park my car, which of course I'm the one that's doing 100% of the work. And after you park your car, you get up, they're gonna ask a fee from you, and these are not even official people that are supposed to be collecting parking money, parking ticket from you. In fact, I don't even know where they come from. They may be people who are being appointed by the local people in charge and they will try to get a buck out of you. Or maybe they could just be random people who pretend to own the place and gets money people from each time they park at those places. And to me, that's a scam. But unfortunately, now we're gonna go on the safety side. If you don't want your car to be scratched, and I don't know if they do or not, but you don't want that, you want to get on the good side, you can pay a small little fee like 2 to 5 ringgit. Because official parking places in Malaysia are mostly 10 ringgit, 7 ringgit for like 6 hours or sometimes the whole day. But if you found a street parking there, everybody parks and all of a sudden somebody approaches, they may ask 10 ringgit from you, just give them 2 or 5 ringgit. If they see a local, they're not going to ask 10 ringgit because we know we're just going to give 2 ringgit or 3 ringgit as a gesture. Just smile to them politely, give them a tip, move away, and you're good. And you know what's one of the things that I'm annoyed the most? All these people, they try to be nice and they try to show you how you should park and stuff like that. You know, if you just stop your car for a while, whatever that they're trying to do, it doesn't actually move the car. I'm kind of annoyed that they feel that they're helping us to park the car by doing this. You're not moving the car, I am moving the car. I know how to park my car. Hey, if you've been enjoying this video so far, do consider subscribing to this channel because I'm going to be making a lot of videos related to Malaysia that can help you plan your travel better, such as how much food do you need in a day, how do you navigate our public transportation system, how do you order food in local restaurants, and revealing more authentic Malaysian experience that tourists should know when coming to Malaysia. So consider subscribing, give this video a like, and do stay until the last video where we're talking about the last scam and safety tip that you might want to hang on to. Next up, what we're going to be talking about is random people approaching you on the street. I started this video by saying that Malaysia is generally safe, and Malaysia is generally safe, especially to us locals who are not going to be approached by foreigners because they know that we are locals here and we know how things are being run over here. That's why if you're going to malls, if you're walking in the streets of Bukit Bintang, you may find foreigners approaching you instead, and they're gonna try to sell you things, they're gonna try to talk to you, they're trying to be nice. Now I know in a Western country it's common for people to talk on the street, but in Asia, most of the time if a random person talks to you in Asia, they're gonna want to scam you, sell you things, or whatever that's similar to those situations. Nobody really talks to you up in the street from Asia, especially locals, or unless maybe they're working for like organizations that want charity and donation. And that's why you need to be careful if you find random people approaching you on the street talking to you just for no reason. Those are the people who are trying to get you to give them money in some capacity. There was one point though in local malls, there have been people who are very similar to my race come in to talk to me. They're of course not from local, but because they see that we are kind of the same, they approach me. They're trying to say that I don't have money, I don't have food and all this kind of stuff. You don't go to a mall and then ask for somebody for money to get food and then go to a nice restaurant after that. Those are definitely scams. Traveling of course means that you need to move around. And one of the things we're getting used to is definitely ordering an e-hailing service, an e-hailing ride. And one of the popular e-hailing app that you should download is Grab. This is where you get to order your ride and go to places all in one fee. But if you didn't do that and you thought like, I'm just gonna go over there and I'm gonna get a taxi ride, you don't want to get onto taxi ride because taxi drivers, I think it's kind of been known pretty much a lot of places, taxi drivers may not be the most honest person. They're gonna drive you around even further so that their meter could show much more, so that they can collect much more from their meter, or maybe they don't even turn on the meter and then they will just put in a price whatever they think it's right. So don't get onto taxi rides, order from this app called Grab. You can download it, link your credit card, and then as soon as you arrive or wherever places that you may be, just put in the destination, and then after that you'll see that price, pay from the app, you get in the car, you arrive at the destination, you don't have to make a single payment. And now it's time for the last scam and safety tip that I want you to know, which is beware of monkeys. Whether you're in Ipoh or you're in the National Zoo or you're in the Batu Caves, places that have monkeys, they're gonna try to take things away from you. So you may thought of like putting your bag one side. No, you gotta always hang on to your bag. You can't let that go off your side, because if you do, walk further a bit, you may find monkeys hovering around your bag or maybe taking things away. And if you have passport inside, that's not gonna be a great day for you. Also, if you find that monkeys do have a possession and you want to get back, try not to look monkeys in the eye because they see that as a threat. Don't make eye contact with monkeys. So like I said, this is a safety tip that you should definitely hang on to. To wrap up this video, I just want to say Malaysia is a super safe place and you shouldn't have any concern. But every now and then there are small little pockets that you should be aware of so that you don't fall into a scam, and as well as having a safer experience. And if you want to get a better experience, then consider downloading my Malaysia travel plan template. Subscribe to this video and comment down below what could help you better in the process of planning your trip. See you guys next time.